Welcome to Practicing Self-Awareness with hosts Robert Chacon and Jose Villegas.
Good afternoon, Detroit, and we're welcoming you to 1340 AM WCHB, and you're listening to Robert Chacon, and this is the Practicing Self-Awareness Show. We're so glad you could join us today on this beautiful day. It's so gorgeous outside. We're so happy. And I have my co-host here, Mr. Zerby, Jose Villegas. What's going on, Zerb? Say hi to the people.
Oh, what's up, my brother? Hi, everybody out there. We here. We ready. Go ahead, Zerby.
So I do have a topic, but leading into that topic, I want you to talk about something you told me earlier today and why this topic is so important. And one of the things is because you said it's time to work on the individual now. We've been working in groups for a long time, right. But it's time now. The individual has to find their personal pulpit that they have moment to moment, 24/7.
Yeah, their personal freedom. See, they have to. See, a group is only a bunch of individuals coming together along the same ideas, right?
Right.
But now we need the individual to lead a group. When he out the group or she out the group, I need them to have a process that they can get their answers. Because, you know, as you look out in the world is getting crazier because we're getting crazier. The world would be fine without us in it. You know, it wouldn't change. It wouldn't change, but it wouldn't be suffering, you know?
Now,
and so, go ahead.
Now, let me go back to something you said now. Jose said, don't leave your group. We're not telling you to leave your group, but we telling you when you're out of your group, do you have something that you practice regularly to so when you're in the group, you're feeling good and you're being stimulated and you know, all your problems are on ice and you're at a level of peace. We want you to be able to transfer that same emotion out of the group. And that's what self-awareness is about, practicing something when you're outside of the group that not only does it help you while you're outside of the group, you probably even bring something back to the group even more valuable. Go ahead, Zer.
Let's put it this way. Let's just take 24 hours, right?
Okay.
In 24 hours, how much time do you spend in the group and how much time do you spend as an individual? Think about that.
Yeah.
Now, for me, a lot of times I don't go to groups anymore, so I'm always in individual mode, right?
Okay.
But I'm just saying for people who do attend groups, when you say you go to a group for an hour or even 2 hours, that's still 22 hours. You're gonna be back into your individual mode.
Okay.
You know what I'm getting at? You got 22 hours. Now, here's the problem. Do you know how to live in those 22 hours, or do you keep on making the same decision, getting the same result, but looking for something else?
That's powerful, brother. So let's get right into it then, and you've introduced it in a great way. We'll get right into it. We talk about what's a clear sign of lacking self-awareness, and I wanted to go over a couple of clear signs that because we talk about gaining self-awareness. How do we know when we don't have self-awareness? When you lack self-awareness, you find yourself repeating negative emotional patterns. Now these, you like that?
Yeah. Try to get dynamic on it.
Right. So now these negative emotional patterns are different for everyone. Some people, it may manifest in fear. You know, you look out at the world, oh, the pandemic is here. Oh, it's a money crisis. Oh, the politicians not doing. You might have a great amount of fear. Or you may experience depression or negativity, or you have a lot of different breakdown in your network of people that you deal with, family members, friends, colleagues. I might have said depression already. Experience a depression from time to time. You experience fear, mounting bills that are coming. This is a lack of self-awareness. Now, How do I know it's a lack of self-awareness? Because everything I just spoke of, we came to the earth equipped with the answer to all of those things. We came to earth with knowing the opposite of all of those untruths exist. But you have to practice something moment to moment that will allow you to see that those things are a lie, that I am more than a conqueror. It's a conqueror in me. It's no fear in me. That the supply is always abundance. It's always a abundance of resources to take care of the things I need. That the me that have these broke down relationships with family, friend, colleagues, I do have the answers to mend those relationships and be better in them as a result, me and whoever the people are. I do have those skills, but I lack the self-awareness to be able to see how they exist in me and how to have an expression of them. And that's what me and Zerby are here is talking about. How do I practice self-awareness so I can see those areas where I'm lacking self-awareness and it is causing those emotional problems or emotional patterns that I'm experiencing regularly. Go ahead, sir.
And see, it's also important to understand how to practice self-awareness. You know, if I just tell you lack it, I need to tell you how to get it. You know,
right?
And you need to understand that self-awareness is going into your physical experiences and making different decisions about the same old stuff. You got to practice slowing your reaction down to what you always reacted to. That's one of the ways you can know you not practicing self-awareness. You become real reactive in your experiences, meaning you just react to what you feel and think without even thinking about what you feel and think. You know what I mean? And so practicing self-awareness is very important. Why? Because the answers for your life is in your experiences, and nobody can give them to you. As much as people try to give us answers, they don't have my answers. I got to get my own answers out my own experiences. God will show you the answers. God will show up. God would even show up sometime and talk to you. That's that voice we call something said. Something said that was going to happen. Something said go left. You know what I mean? But because we made an image of God, you don't always have to have God say something. You can have revelation about your own life, about things you didn't even know about yourself. And so that's why you practice self-awareness. You know, I was listening to this guy this morning named Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he studied the brain, right?
Yeah.
And look what he said. He said, on an average day, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts every day, right?
Right.
And look what he said. He said at least 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts we had the day before, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said most of us get up the same way in the morning, get the same coffee cup, drink the same coffee, take a bath at the same time, check our email the same. He said pretty much we keep our whole life has become one big habit, and that's why we can't change. And look what he said. He said your personal reality is directly connected to your personality.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. It was sweet how he said that. He said if you want a new personal reality, you got to change your personality. It's connected. It's all connected. If you believe your thoughts affect your life, and you keep thinking the same thoughts every day and choosing from them thoughts, how can you expect a new life? See what I'm getting at?
Yeah, so
you go ahead.
So, and what we're trying to say is if you lack self-awareness and you see that your lack of self-awareness is causing negative emotional patterns, what Zerb is talking about now is how do you gain? If you lack something, how do you gain it? And so that's why we have this statement that says any negative state, anytime I'm negative, anytime that I'm negative in my experiences, I need to immediately start paying attention to those thoughts. Like Zerb just made a statement. He said you have to slow your reaction down. Yeah. And how do we slow our reaction down? Is we begin to pay more attention to it as opposed to when we're in our experiences and we're normally, when we get negative, we're normally saying, yeah, that's right. They were wrong for that. If I'm paying more attention to that reaction, I'm less attached to it as something real and acting from it. That's one way you begin to slow your reaction down. I promise you, you're going to see a lot in your experience where you're going to say, you know what? I think I just react like this all the time, but it's not necessarily true. And I don't necessarily have to be this anger or this negativity. Exactly. Self-awareness is the ability to focus on yourself, your actions, your thoughts, and your emotions, especially the ones that don't align with your internal standards. If you're getting depressed, if you're experiencing fear, I guarantee you that does not align with your internal standard. Would you ever wake up one day and say, I know I'm an emotional wreck and I experience plenty of fear, hate, and anger all day? No, that because your emotional standard is to wake up and be at peace with yourself and harmony with the world and others. That's your internal standard. I hope I'm talking to an audience of people that I hope that's not a stretch to think everybody wants to wake up with peace and joy in their life. Is that a stretch? But that's not a stretch. But when we're experiencing the opposite of that, are we paying enough attention to say, hey, this is not me. This is not what I want to be or what I want. And if you're not paying attention to yourself, of course, you'll allow those expressions in your life unchecked. So, also, before you say that, let me open up the phone lines. That got funny to me for some reason. You're listening to 1340 AM WCHB. The phone line is 313-837-1340. The phone line is 313-837-1340. Call and get in on this new wave of understanding that we've been so profoundly given and trying to have an expression of it, a new way to peace, a new way to harmony in our life. And give us a call, 313-837-1340. We like to know what you think. Come on, Zer. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother, but go ahead.
Yeah, and also, too, we need to set some truth about us as human beings, right?
Yeah.
And we need to understand we live in two worlds at the exact same time. That's why we call human beings. The being is the real you is the being that lives inside the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was taught that no good thing in the flesh, and this is not my home. I'm just passing through. So what that did for me is reject the physical world and not understand it. So I need to understand the physical world because it's the physical world that developed my inner world, right?
Right.
See, we're trying to change a world that we didn't create. Nobody created the life they live in. We just got to be responsible for it. Other people created this life through their experiences. We, as a baby, you learn stuff before you even knew how to read. Catch that now. We learned stuff way before we knew what the Bible was or a book was. As a matter of fact, we were sent to the earth. We couldn't even walk, talk, feed ourselves, change our diapers. We was at the mercy of the physical world. Now, when I discovered that I wasn't my mind, that was one of the biggest discoveries. Me and you was working on ourselves. I said, you know something, I'm not my mind. And I thought about it, and I started thinking about the kind of mind I had. I realized I was walking around trying to use a mind that wasn't on my side.
Okay.
My mind has never been my friend. My mind is the most dangerous thing that I get to use every day. It's a weapon of mass destruction.
Oh wow! Is that why people are blowing up the world, blowing up things? Because their mind told them.
Well, you got to remember. Here's the key. You can watch the connection I'm about to make. The mind give you the thought, but you have the freedom of decision. But since your decision only chooses the thoughts you only have, you're gonna choose them thoughts. You see what I'm getting at? It's all connected. Remember, a thought it creates the action, but the decision chooses the thought. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, we've been talking about that like on a lot of social media platforms. You have I've been on this thing called TikTok, but I call it, to be honest, my new nickname for it is called Tick Toxic.
That's what
I'm sorry, TikTok people. It represent. If y'all out there listening, I don't mean to dish y'all app, but it's called Tick Toxic.
Yeah, like social media should be social drama.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah,
because
that's what
I'm on that thing now. My kids turned. I don't want to throw my kids under the bus, but they turned me on because this generation before. I don't even know what they call them. Millennial, Generation Z. There's so much of that stuff out there, but they turned me on to it, and we talked about this. I noticed how all day long people are on here spew. I mean, these people are angry. They are aggressive, sir. They like, and this is the way life is, and everybody should follow this. And what I've been able to notice, and this thing about women, and this thing about men, and this thing about this politician, and this thing about right wing, and this thing. And I'm like, man, these people, it's almost like this platform to spew any anger, hate, belief. And the thing is, and this is why I say, how do you know if you lack self-awareness? A lot of these posts, I don't see these people expressing as though I found something very good about life and I want to share with you. So in hope that you'll get better. It's always, everybody that shares, it's always this underlying like anger. Like this, it's like it's like this underlining grim reality about this belief. It's never something. They don't seem like, I'm gonna use your words, or they don't seem like they're free. They seem like they're in a jail because of this belief. This
that emotional prison.
Oh, now you're gonna bring out your book. Look at you.
Emotional prison. Trapped behind the bars of their thoughts.
Yeah. Like your first book, Emotional Prisoner. That was powerful. Yeah.
But here's the thing, Zerd. Here's the thing. You never hear them talk about themselves.
Yeah.
If you can't talk about yourself, then you ain't really talking about nothing. See, people don't understand. Gossip is a form of confession. You're just talking about the wrong person. You need to stop gossiping.
So wait. So you mean like Halloween? They need to put on the priest outfit and go sit their own self in the booth and tell on themselves.
Sir, how did you meet me? What attracted you to me?
Because you were saying some things, some very powerful, revealing things. Things that I had experienced, but I had swore I was going to take to the grave. That I'd never share those things that, bad things I've experienced, harmful things that have been done to me and that I had done to others. And I was going to never, and to see you standing on that platform and sharing those things so freely, I said, wow, I got to get to know this man. He is brave to say that kind of stuff publicly.
Exactly. I was sharing about what? Myself. I wasn't talking about the government. I wasn't talking about my wife and kids. I was telling you about how messed up and things I was still doing. And that's what attracted you, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we got to get to the individual now. See, it's time. Go ahead.
Let me say this, Herb. If you're highly self-aware, you can objectively evaluate yourself, manage your emotions, and align your behavior with your core values. What am I saying? That means your core value is to be at peace, is to be giving, is to be loving, is to be all understanding, to be you are a conqueror. It's a conqueror in you. But you have to be self-aware enough to be able to see those things exist and reside in you. And what's the important thing? And you said it the other weeks, or what's the one of the important things? We have to be self-aware to know where we lack self-awareness. And if we can see that, that's asking God to reveal those other core elements of our true self to us. And he actually will. But guess what? What's practical about what we said? You'll actually be looking for them when you will stop attaching to the negativity.
Well, before I get started, anybody call there, Zerd, before I get started?
No, I think we're giving the information so good. They just trying to soak it up.
Let's soak it up. Zerd, it's important that we that we understand that the part you said about we conquerors, I'm gonna tell you, there's a bigger part to us, bigger than that. You know what that is?
Come on, sir. Hey, wait, hold on. It's something bigger than us, even in us than conquerors?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to hear this. Come on.
Because being a conqueror requires force, but being this next thing requires flow. We are creators.
And that's why I said we more than conquerors.
Yeah, we're more than. See, if you look at everything, everywhere you look, every time everybody want to change something, got to be a war on it. War on drugs, war on this, war on that. War don't change nothing. Everybody loses, even the ones who look like they won, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. Why don't we just stop fighting and create a new life?
Come on, sir.
I just spoke to my wife. Me and her were talking. I finally just told her the baby love. After 30 years, because of the person I've become, I said, baby, I got to go on and move out. We got to call this thing. Right?
Okay.
And she agreed with it. She already knew I was dead. You know what I told her? Because I talked about me. I said, baby, I'm too different now. I'm too aware. I said, baby, at this level of awareness, I'm going to be too aggravating to y'all. Look what I told her now.
Wow. Look at you.
What I told her. Because I know I am. I said, baby, I'm too aware. It's going to make me keep looking at everything y'all do. And then I'm going to keep saying something, and then y'all going to be frustrated with me. So I said, baby, it ain't nothing bad. Ain't nobody's fault. It's just that time. It's almost like you want to go to North Carolina, but I want to go to New York, and we ain't got but one car.
Okay.
Somebody got to catch the bus, so I'm going to catch the bus there. I'm going to pack my stuff up and catch the bus and let them keep the car, which is the house. See what I'm saying? Keep it. Because I'm at another level in my life where I've become so aware that I can see where I'm a problem now at this level.
And
that is.
Now, let me say something too, because I got a few things wrote down about self-awareness, and this goes exactly with what you're talking about. Self-awareness goes hand in hand with emotional intelligence. People who are emotionally intelligent typically have higher levels of self-awareness and a higher level of experiencing the creative force within.
Yes.
And so what you're talking about is emotional intelligence. So let me show you, and this go back to one of my friend Tasha that calls us sometimes, talking about emotional intelligence. She was saying, she was telling me like how exercise relieves stress. This is a few years back, and I was at a point where I was a staunch, self-awareness person. I said, well, if it works self-awareness, and you should be fine. And then I noticed I was getting overwhelmed emotionally in some of my physical experiences. So I started riding my bike, and that release. And so actually it was emotional self-awareness gave me the emotional intelligence to say, hey, this is becoming overwhelming. Why don't you do this to relieve some, it was showing me what to do. Like, you may not be at the point where you can just look at this and be at peace. Let's try this while we're working on getting there. Did that kind of blend with what you were saying, sir?
Yeah, what I'm about to show you, I'm going to give you another one to show you. I remember the day I decided I need medication for my depression. That's intelligence.
Okay.
I knew I couldn't handle my depression by myself no more. Also, I realized that the depression was a dysfunction of my brain and not me.
Okay.
See what I'm getting at? I needed medication to treat a dysfunctional brain. But because in the African American community, we have a stigma about being on medication. Yeah, people think you're crazy. Let me tell you something. Just about everybody in our community crazy, because we got to remember we had slavery and poverty as our legacy. You see what I'm saying? We got a lot of illness in our community, and then we're trying to be in relationship with each other. We need to work on ourselves first before we start getting in a whole lot of relational stuff, because the problem is we bring too much baggage to the relationship. So when I decided that I needed medication, that was the best thing I did, man, because what did the medication do for me? I stayed on my medication for 5 years and worked on myself. But the medication slowed how I felt. It changed how I felt about things. I wasn't so reactive. I mean, I used to be so reactive, I would lose jobs because I would just quit if somebody said something I ain't like and walk off the job and not knowing how I'm going to pay my bills next week. You see what I'm saying? Oh, man, I done just drove down the highway, almost had a wreck at 100 miles an hour because I'm angry. Just craziness. When I look back on it, craziness. So when you talk about emotional intelligence, what you're talking about is you intelligently understand your emotional state.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah. You right. And you know what? When I look out at the news and we've had a rash of just heinous like crimes with family members killing their whole family and all kinds of junk in the last few days. And like you said, if you had emotional intelligence, you would access that and you would say, you know what? I need to remove myself from this because I'm definitely not acting with a core value because most of the people that's been in these situations are people that don't have a history of any crime. And you know how every time they interview the next door neighbors be like, they was the nicest, quietest people. I never heard nothing from them. You know what I'm saying?
I was the nicest guy you would know, but the sickest guy also. Most nice people are sick. They're just covering it up with nice.
Well, is that what we call what people please? So you mean to tell me all these people that are people pleasers is really quietly they really quiet sufferers? Is that what it is?
Hey, you hit it on the head. And silent.
And watch this. It must be a lot of us out there. Why? Because if everybody say I'm a people pleaser, I'm always people pleasing. Well, who are the people getting pleased? Because it seems like everybody say they are people pleasers. So I don't know. That's what
we got the wrong opinion of ourselves anyway.
So that's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's why we practice self-awareness. That's why we want to have emotional intelligence.
Why do you think I told my wife? Why do you think I told my wife that I would aggravate y'all? I didn't say what they was gonna do. I said from this level of awareness, I'm gonna be aggravating y'all.
That's powerful.
I'm gonna be saying stuff. I'm letting you know that I realize that I'm the problem.
Can I just say this? I want to say, man, thanks for your transparency today. Because I know everybody wouldn't be able to get on the radio and say, hey, this is what's going on in my life. But I love how you keep it real because, watch this, self-awareness is also not about becoming perfect. Self-awareness is about having a tool when we go through something. That is the whole world of difference. To be able to have something that help you be at a more loving, understanding, and a workable level instead of being on the news. So with that, we're going to get ready to wrap it up.
Okay.
We're going to give our info. Man, great show. I'm telling you, great show. I enjoyed this. Look, I'm going to have to play this back and listen for my own self. Get that email, Zerby.
Yeah, self-aware 2021 at yahoo.com. Self-aware 2021 at yahoo.com.
Call with your questions. Call if you want to get some of the material we have written on this journey of self-awareness. You can get my book at www.arshakan.com. www.arshakan.com. Arshakan is RSHAKHAN. SHAKHAN. You also can contact me on Facebook, Robert Shakan, to get you a book. So we love you, Detroit. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see y'all next week.
All right, brother.
You have just been made aware. The Practicing Self-Awareness Show with host Robert Shakan and Jose Villegas. Contact Rob at 313-283-5651 or email at selfaware2021@yahoo.com. That's selfaware2021@yahoo.com. And tune in again.